The hills of Los Angeles, once shimmering under the California sun, are now scarred with the black streaks of wildfire. Since January 7, 2025, a fierce inferno has raged across the region, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Two major fire complexes, the Palisades Fire and the Eaton Fire, continue to challenge firefighters. The Palisades Fire, a monstrous blaze spanning over 37 square miles, remains only 52% contained. The Eaton Fire, though smaller in scale, is 81% contained. Despite the tireless efforts of firefighters, the battle is far from over. Dry conditions and strong winds, gusting up to 70 miles per hour on the coast and a staggering 100 miles per hour in the mountains, continue to fuel the flames. The Santa Ana winds, infamous for their role in spreading wildfires, whip through the canyons, turning smoldering embers into raging infernos. With no rainfall since April, the vegetation is tinder dry, providing ample fuel for the fires to spread rapidly. The situation remains volatile, and fire officials warn of a particularly dangerous situation for Los Angeles and Ventura counties. The fires are a stark reminder of the increasing threat of wildfires in California and across the American West. Climate change, with its rising temperatures and prolonged droughts, has created a tinderbox environment ripe for disaster. As we enter a new era of extreme fire behavior, the need for comprehensive fire management, increased resources, and community preparedness has never been greater. The fires burning in Los Angeles are a tragic reminder of the devastating power of nature and the importance of proactive measures to mitigate future disasters. The human cost of the Los Angeles wildfires is staggering. As of today, January 20, 2025, at least 27 lives have been lost to the unrelenting flames. These are not just numbers, they represent mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters whose lives were tragically cut short. The emotional toll on families and communities is immeasurable, leaving invisible scars that will take generations to heal. The physical damage is equally devastating. Over 14,000 structures have been reduced to ashes since the fires began on January 7. Thousands of homes once filled with life and memories are now nothing more than smoldering ruins. Businesses, schools, and community centers have also fallen victim to the flames, disrupting the fabric of daily life and leaving residents with a profound sense of loss. The fires have laid waste to vast swaths of land, leaving behind a desolate landscape. The economic impact on the region is expected to be significant, with businesses forced to close, tourism disrupted, and the cost of rebuilding reaching into the billions. The fires serve as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of our communities and the importance of supporting one another in times of crisis. Firefighters are waging a relentless battle against the inferno, working tirelessly to contain the blazes and protect lives and property. On the front lines, they face a formidable foe, battling not only the flames but also extreme heat, fatigue, and treacherous terrain. The courage and dedication of these men and women are a testament to the human spirit's resilience in the face of adversity. Progress is being made on the fire lines, but the fight is far from over. Firefighters are focusing on establishing containment lines around the perimeter of the fires, using bulldozers and hand crews to clear vegetation and create fire breaks. Air tankers and helicopters are also playing a critical role, dropping water and fire retardant to slow the spread of the flames and protect structures. Despite their best efforts, firefighters face numerous challenges. The dry conditions and strong winds continue to create volatile fire behavior, making it difficult to predict the fire's path and effectively deploy resources. The rugged terrain also poses significant obstacles, limiting access for ground crews and hindering firefighting efforts. The fires are a stark reminder of the critical importance of investing in firefighting resources and supporting the brave men and women who risk their lives to protect us. As the flames consumed acre after acre, a disturbing truth emerged. Los Angeles was woefully unprepared for a wildfire of this magnitude. Despite repeated warnings from fire officials, the city lacked the resources, personnel, and infrastructure to effectively combat the blaze in its early hours. This failure of preparedness has had devastating consequences, exacerbating the fire's spread and contributing to the tragic loss of life and property. At the heart of the issue lies a chronic underfunding of the Los Angeles Fire Department. For years, fire officials have pleaded for increased resources to address the growing threat of wildfires, only to be met with budget cuts and bureaucratic roadblocks. The lack of funding has had a direct impact on the fire department's ability to prepare for and respond to wildfires, leaving the city vulnerable to disaster. One of the most glaring examples of this systemic failure is the fire department's lack of a dedicated wildland hand crew until very recently. These specialized crews are trained to combat wildfires in rugged terrain, using hand tools and chainsaws to clear vegetation and create fire breaks. Despite repeated requests for funding, the fire department was forced to rely on other jurisdictions and a small volunteer unit, leaving the city ill-equipped to handle a major wildfire. Section 5. A ticking time bomb. Timeline of preparedness failures. The seeds of this disaster were sown long before the first flames erupted on January 7th. A series of missed opportunities, bureaucratic roadblocks, and funding shortfalls created a ticking time bomb that ultimately exploded into the current crisis. Examining the timeline of these failures reveals a systemic disregard for the warnings of fire officials and a failure to adequately prepare for the inevitable. August 2021, LA Fire Chief Kristen M. Crowley first requested funding for a dedicated wildland hand crew, but the request was significantly underfunded. January 2023, Chief Crowley renewed her request, seeking $7 million to establish the hand crew and improve wildfire preparedness. Despite the urgency of the situation, the request languished in bureaucratic limbo for months. May 2023, the City Council finally approved a meager $519,000 for wildfire preparedness, a fraction of what Chief Crowley had requested. Summer 2024, after months of delay, the job title Wildland Hand Crew Technician was finally finalized, and applications opened in October 2024. January 7, 2025, the Palisades fire breaks out, with the LAFD still lacking a fully operational hand crew. The city is caught flat-footed and the consequences are devastating. Section 6. Evacuations and exploitation, chaos amidst the crisis. As the wildfires raged, thousands of residents were forced to flee their homes, seeking refuge in shelters and with family and friends. The mass evacuations created chaos and confusion as families scrambled to gather their belongings and navigate gridlocked roads. The stress and uncertainty of the situation took a heavy toll on evacuees, many of whom were left wondering if they would ever see their homes again. Adding to the turmoil, there were reports of looting in evacuated neighborhoods, as criminals sought to exploit the crisis for their own gain. The Los Angeles Police Department increased patrols in affected areas and made several arrests, but the incidents underscored the vulnerability of communities during disasters. In a disturbing turn of events, 2 individuals were arrested for impersonating firefighters and attempting to enter an evacuation zone. The suspects, who were apprehended at a checkpoint, were found to be carrying fake credentials and firefighting equipment. The incident highlighted the need for increased security and vigilance during emergencies, as unscrupulous individuals may attempt to exploit the situation for personal gain or malicious purposes. Section 7. The long road ahead, insurance, recovery, and rebuilding. Even as firefighters continue to battle the blazes, the long and arduous process of recovery and rebuilding has begun. For the thousands of residents who have lost their homes and businesses, the road ahead will be fraught with challenges, both emotional and financial. Navigating the complexities of insurance claims, securing temporary housing, and rebuilding their lives will require immense resilience and support. One of the most immediate challenges facing fire victims is insurance coverage. Many homeowners are discovering that their policies do not provide sufficient coverage to rebuild their homes, leaving them with significant financial shortfalls. Disputes over property valuations and the complexities of proving losses can further complicate the claims process, adding to the stress and uncertainty faced by survivors. Rebuilding, when it can begin, will be a long and costly endeavor. The demand for construction materials and labor is expected to surge, driving up prices and delaying reconstruction efforts. The emotional toll of losing one's home and possessions cannot be overstated, and the process of rebuilding can be emotionally draining and financially overwhelming. Section 8. A wake-up call. Government response and future preparedness. The Los Angeles wildfires have served as a wake-up call, exposing the city's vulnerabilities and highlighting the urgent need for improved wildfire preparedness. The government's response to the crisis has been swift, with Governor Gavin Newsom declaring a state of emergency and mobilizing state resources to assist with firefighting and recovery efforts. However, the disaster has also exposed systemic failures in funding, planning, and resource allocation that must be addressed to prevent future tragedies. In the wake of the fires, there have been calls for a comprehensive review of the city's wildfire preparedness plans, including an assessment of firefighting resources, evacuation procedures, and building codes. Experts emphasize the need for a multifaceted approach that includes increased funding for the Los Angeles Fire Department, improved forest management practices, and stricter building codes to enhance fire resistance. The wildfires have also reignited the debate over climate change and its role in fueling more frequent and intense wildfires. As temperatures rise and droughts become more common, the risk of wildfires will only continue to grow. Addressing climate change through a combination of mitigation and adaptation strategies will be crucial in reducing the long-term risk of wildfires. Section 9. From the Ashes Community, Resilience and Lessons Learned. The Los Angeles wildfires have been a tragedy on an unimaginable scale, but they have also revealed the indomitable spirit of the human spirit. Amidst the devastation, stories of courage, compassion, and resilience have emerged, demonstrating the power of community in the face of adversity. Neighbors have helped neighbors evacuate, volunteers have flocked to shelters to offer aid and comfort, and donations have poured in from across the country. The fires have taught us many difficult lessons about the importance of preparedness, the interconnectedness of our communities, and the need for collective action to address the growing threat of wildfires. As the city begins the long process of rebuilding, it is imperative that these lessons are not forgotten. The Los Angeles wildfires stand as a stark reminder that we live in an era of increasing climate-driven disasters. It is a call to action for individuals, communities, and governments to prioritize preparedness, invest in resilience, and work together to create a safer and more sustainable future. From the ashes of this tragedy, a stronger and more resilient Los Angeles can emerge, but only if we heed the lessons learned and embrace a future defined by preparedness, collaboration, and a deep commitment to protecting our communities from the devastating impacts of wildfires.